What's happening, traders? In this video, I'm going to break down my most recent supply and demand trades with the Dow Jones. I currently have 5 positions that are all in profit or at break even, and I just want you to take a different perspective on how you look and observe the market to try and understand and figure out where you can find these supply and demand zones for yourself. So let's dive in. So first of all, let's start on the left over here, where this is the most recent high. So we got a drop and a base and a rally, and that rally broke this previous high. Now previously I wouldn't look at this area here as an actual base. It just wouldn't represent itself to me as an actual area that I would call this basing. It looks more like a pullback for me, okay? But reading, books and understanding what this kind of represents to me now is an area where maybe the institutions and the banks were all buying at these levels. That's why all these lows are around the same area. So they were probably buying here, then the markets dropped back down into it, filled up the rest of the buy orders, and then boom, the markets moved out again. So number one, this, how it's represented itself to me now, is very important for me because I never used to recognize this before as an area of basing or an area where the banks and institutions have their orders. So I would never see it, but now apparently I can. And the reason why I got 2 trades in this position is because I was trading 2 areas of white space. The white space is the most important thing when looking for supply and demand zones for me personally. So let's just take this, hold on, so let me get out another draw tool. This was one area of white space for me in here where the market hasn't been. So as you can see, this was in there. This first position was inside there, just in case the market dipped there. Then the second area of white space for me was here to there, which is why I have another position down there. So the market took me in, filled those 2 positions, and then decided to push up. So that worked out really, really well. Now this area of supply was produced on the way back down, and hold on, let me just take this away so it's a little bit more clearer. I thought that this is obviously a nice rally, base and a drop. The market went back in there, touched it, and then pushed down to this area there where I got filled in. Remember, I had another position here. So it's gone up. It's now, as I said, as it went back into this, it would weaken this and push through. So now this current area of supply is no longer supply because it's been breached, as we can see here. So let's take this away. So now this, the third position that I got here, I had to go down to a lower time frame. I think it was the 15-minute. And again, we have an area of white space. So the market's, as you see, I'm getting these at the very low, not in the middle, not halfway up, at the very low. And this is another area of white space here that I got filled in. Position tapped it, produced a double bottom, and then decided to move out of it again. Now these 2 positions, I have to say this was quite lucky in a sense that I woke up last night in the middle of the night and around I think 2 a.m. or something like that. And hold on, we can see that this was around 2:45, and I decided to look at the charts. So I thought to myself, let me have a look, and I noticed again 2 areas of white space on the 15-minute. Well, in fact, let's go down to the 5-minute because it's a little bit clearer. So we have one area of white space here, where as you can see, first position was filled. And then we have another area of white space, which is not as clear, but nonetheless, it's still there. which is where this second position got filled, and then the market's moved up and created a higher high. So it's sometimes just have to take a look at it from a really different perspective. Obviously I've gone down to lower time frames to try and add positions. Ideally this 5-minute time frame may not work, as we can see the market is pushing back down for it, but the higher time frames that you find usually work out pretty well. And I use the 2-hour chart to do all of my trend alignment, to actually find the trades that I'm taking, and I probably go down to like a 1 hour or a 15-minute chart just to really refine the entries that I'm looking for. But hopefully this just gives you a different look when you're trying to find these supply and demand zones. And again, the reason why I'm catching these is because the market's in a clear uptrend. It may just range for a while because it's been in an uptrend for a little while and then continue up. I don't know, but all I know is that I'm just looking for these areas of white space and only trading demand zones at the moment because the market is in a clear uptrend.